Alright, so welcome back to another episode of Headbanging Houseplants. Or is it Houseplant Headbanger? Doesn't matter. It is what it is. So today we're going to play around with some Swedish ivy, take some cuttings and show you how to propagate those. Yeah, I know I don't look like a houseplant person, but just go with it. So when you take your cuttings, you want to count down like 3 sets of leaves and put them right in water. That's what you're doing. This is one of my stock pots, so I get cuttings off of it all the time. And you get the idea. You go through all the ends and come down there, and that's what you want to have. And like this. Okay, so after you do that, and you put them in water, then we'll go to the next spot. And okay, so once you get your cuttings, then you want to take the bottom leaves off, so you end up with about 3 inches of stalk. And just set it on a towel once you do it. Here's one where you got to cut the bottom leaves off. And we'll do a couple more here. Right there, bottom leaves off. Bottom leaves. And then when you get them, enough of them, and you have a bowl, you just put them together and get them in the water, about 3 inches into the water. When I'm done, it would end up with a whole bowl full of them. And then you leave them go for about 2 weeks. Make sure that it keeps enough water in there, and then I'll show you when we're ready to plant them. You want to put your stuff, your cuttings, in water. And when they start to get roots, when you check them every week, add a little bit of plant food stuff, and I'll show you how to do plant food correctly so you don't kill your plants. Remember, when you feed your plants, which is every third watering, I'll show you what to do. It makes your plant food water blue, but you can have it dark blue. It'll kill their plants, and I'll go over that later. All right. Okay, so with the Swedish ivy, once you've let those plants sit in that water for about 2 weeks, and you check them and you can start to see roots on them, then we're going to go on to the next thing. Let me show you how it looks here with these when they start getting rooted. There you go. You can tell. You can see the nice roots there and stuff, and then they're ready to plant. Some of them even start to flower, but after they've been in that water and stuff. So you start out with an empty pot, and I always put compost in the bottom, which can be coffee grounds, anything you've cut or that fell off your other plants and stuff, what you got left over from a head of lettuce, you know, all the white, the shitty tasting lettuce part, yeah, that stuff. Eggshells can go in there, all that stuff. Okay, nice, about 3 inch layer of that stuff. And then we're going to move, I'll be right back with the next tier, the next thing you do after that. So just pause. Okay, so we've moved on now, and you have your plants sitting aside that have the roots. They've been sitting for about 2 weeks. And so you have your compost in there, and then what I like to do is I'll dig out of an old pot that's sitting outside and put some of that shitty dirt in there. And then you put in some of your compost dirt, and then, so that's the shitty dirt, and here's with the compost dirt in it. And then you take some fresh potting soil, and you want to put that on the top, because that's what's going to feed the roots first, right off the bat. And people go, you know, I don't know about feeding. You got to feed every third time you water. It's just like everything living has to eat, right? Nothing can live on water. We can't live on water. Nothing living can live on water. You got to have food. So you got to use plant food. And so let me get a little more in there. Now I'm trashing the fucking countertop. Hey, look, I don't have any filters, so it is what it is. Either you want to learn or you want to give me shit for saying foul language. Freedom of speech, remember? Alright, so now you have your potting soil on top. And so now we'll go to some of the cuttings that you had that have roots on them. You can see the roots on them. If they don't have roots, oh, that's got roots. So you want to get a nice clump like that. And you're just going to put a nice hole in there and shove them in. Alright, and then get another handful. And they all got roots. Ooh, these are good. Check it out. Got about 5 or 6 of these. And put another hole in there. Shove them in there. Turn your pot around. Go to your next handful, 2. Got a lot of roots. 3, 4, 5. There we go. You're going to do it 4 times. There we go. And then one more. So I'm going to redo my stock pot that I had because it's getting old. So best thing to do is get fresh ones. Alright, so hole number 4, shove them right in there. You already have it filled with the dirt, so you don't need to do anything else. And then you want to water it. So just regular water. Tap water is fine. It's even better if you let it sit for a couple days so all the damn chemicals that were stuck, that are killing us, they just dissipate into the air, and then you have clean water. Or you can use spring water or whatever they call it, drinking water. Yeah, it's not like spring water comes from a spring. Right, yeah, like that's what, like they have a tap on that. If there was one, it would have a fence around it. Yeah, hang armed guards. So that doesn't exist. So this is what you end up with, and I'll show you what happens after a couple of weeks. Alright, so we're back. Hold on a second. This is what it ends up looking like if you use a hanging basket after about a month and a half. This is what your Swedish ivy looks like. So having this as a stock pot, to make it fuller and everything else, I can start doing the same thing I did before, taking cuttings off. Depends on how much room you have, how much you want to hang down and stuff, but you want to make sure that the center is full. And this one is. Now you see wire around here because they end up weighing a lot. You get them to hang down and stuff, and it ends up weighing quite a bit. And these, even though this has 4 plastic arms to hold it, it doesn't hold them anymore. I've had plants that you can hear them snap, or you go outside and they're just snapped off. So I use wire, and now it's wire off. Now this thing will never snap. That's a smart thing to do. It's like landscape wire. If you're putting in a sidewalk and stuff, and you're putting up the sides to do it, and you put in the rebar, it's that wire that holds them together. That's the stuff. That's what you want. So yeah, this is about a month and a half after you would plant something up. This is what it looks like. Alright, hold that a minute. Alright, today it's time for another houseplant reality check. And what I explain to you or tell you, that is word. And don't go by how I look, go by what I say. I'm not going to steer you wrong. Because if I am, sue me. But I'm not. I've been playing around with this stuff since I was 7 years old. Had a green thumb, whatever you want to call it, but yeah, I can grow plants. And not weed. It's too complicated for that shit. And I'm in Pennsylvania, so it ain't legal either yet. So, and then after the next video, I'll have another houseplant reality check. All these different ones that I show you are all true. And if I'm lying, I'm done. Alright, time for another houseplant reality check. And this is true. I'm not bullshitting you. When you buy your plants in the spring, you don't, depending on what zone you live in, if the temperature is going to go down to 40 or below, don't buy anything. I know it's April and you want to get the best stuff and everything. No. Where I live in Pennsylvania, you don't buy anything before May 15th. If you do, and that's why Lowe's and Home Depot and shit, they put everything out at the end of April. Because there's a good chance it's going to go below 40. Now you say, nah, my stuff isn't going to freeze because it's not going down to freezing. It doesn't matter. This stuff is grown in Florida, where it never gets that low. So then they ship it up here, and everybody buys it. And then come the second week of May, everybody has to buy it again, because every time everybody puts something out or planted something, the frost got it. And that's why they do it so early, so you buy twice. Be smart. Don't buy anything until after May 15th. That's just, I'm telling you. Depending on where you live. If you live more north, then you're going to have to wait even longer. But whenever they start putting them plants out, it's way too early. Look at the last time and comparing the last couple of years when the last day was that it got to 40 degrees in May or whatever month before it didn't go down that low anymore. And that's when you want to buy your plants, not before. 40 degrees and below kills shit, believe me. I'll be back with another houseplant reality check next time. See ya. Till next time, like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, you can put them in the comments column. And if you have any comments, I don't really want to hear them. unless they're positive. If they're negative, you know, keep them to yourself. I don't give a shit. You know? Alright. See you next time. Peace.